Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. This is the council recap from the March 23rd meetings back on Monday. First meeting we started with was committee of the whole meeting at 1 o'clock, and first delegation we had was from Austin Kessler, our lead on our community peace officers, and he just brought forward what the 26-27 performance plan looks like, and lots of good discussion between Austin as to what him and his team are doing for our community in the next year, as well as lots of feedback from council. The majority of it is, continuing on with the path they've been on. We're looking for a little bit more, and Austin wants to do a little bit more foot patrols, bike patrols, being out there a little bit, but same time, these guys are busy. They are really, really busy constantly, and there's a lot of, because the program and our bylaws and the peace officer program is primarily complaint-based, so when somebody phones in or uses report a concern on our website, those are the things that they're responding to constantly. There's not a lot of time available for just going for a stroll through the park or through the riding their bikes along all the happy trails and stuff. But Austin's looking at different ways that they can maybe improve on that and be out there and be visible a little bit more, because they want to be, but they've also got a budget they're working underneath, and they've also got so much manpower they're working with. And first things first is dealing with the actual direct complaints that come in from the community, so that we can keep our neighbors peaceful and abiding by the bylaws and not negatively impacting anybody else around them. So lots of things to look at. There was a comment afterwards. At the end of the meeting, we do a little Q&A thing, and there was a comment about an individual that thought that the peace officer program shouldn't be so complaint-based, but when you've got that much stuff coming in, it's hard to do it another way. The other piece is that if we did it proactively, that is another extremely expensive thing. It takes a lot of manpower if you're looking for our guys to just be driving up and down the streets looking for problems, and not only streets, but driving up and down the alleys looking for problems. And I definitely don't think it's right that our peace officers would be, peeking over fences or something looking for violations in somebody's private yard. So I'm not okay with that. If there's a complaint that comes in directly because one neighbor is negatively impacting another neighbor, that's what we need to deal with. And maybe there's a slight violation in something that somebody's doing, but if it's not negatively impacting the other neighbors and the other neighbors are okay with it, well, maybe that's okay too. And if it becomes a problem and the officers see it, trailers being left unhooked in front of residences, that's a big one. As long as it's in front of their house, maybe it doesn't negatively impact, but it's still a piece of the bylaw that does negatively impact the overall traffic and everything else. So that's a thing that they keep an eye on. Trailers are a big thing unhooked. But as far as going beyond that, I don't know. I think you're going down a bit of a greasy road there. So I think our guys do a fantastic job, and they take care of where the direct needs are when our community phones in or uses report a concern. Report a concern, I'll just do a shout out for that. Communications team does a fantastic job. If you have, rather than phoning in to the town, which you can do, but if you want and you have a concern with something, use report a concern. highriver.ca, it's on the top right corner. You just click on it. You put in the address and all your information about the complaint. It goes directly to the department that's involved in that piece. And you can put an email address in, your phone number in, and they will give you a direct call back telling you how it was dealt with and what the concerns are from our end or anything else. So use report a concern. That's your best tool that you can use in this town. Assessment review board update. This was an appeal that was after our tax assessments went out and one a commercial building. It's those of you that know the Western Financial head offices up by UFA in the southeast corner of town there. A tax agent came along and told these guys, well, I can get you a better deal on your taxes, and so they appealed it, and they did get the appeal board did grant them the reduction of approximately $2 million, which is about $20,000 in lost revenue taxes that everybody else has to pick up in this town. The issue that we have is that building had been assessed at about $7 million for about 10 or 15 years. And so for it to now drop, I can't remember the exact number, but it dropped by like 2 million plus. That's a significant reduction. And how was that done? And it's not sitting right with myself. It's not sitting right with council as to how that review was handled. Both by the tax agent and the appointed person from the province. So we are looking into that. I've got some really big concerns on there, and we're we've sent it back to staff to give us our options as to, are we able to appeal the appeal or do a judicial review as to how that was handled, because I'm not okay if we let this one pass and this becomes a regular occurrence. I'm not okay with that. So more to be dealt with on that one in the future, I'm sure. Last one was a variance application. This is for a development that's going to be going in the empty lot straight south of Service Credit Union in that great big open lot. And so we saw the architectural designs and where the site layout, but they had asked for 3 pretty significant variances on their design, of which at the end of the day council was not okay with in relaxing those, because in our land use bylaw we have specific things that do control a little bit of the architectural design. One is when you go, after you go up 3 stories, you have to do a setback of that 3rd story, and that just breaks it up from being a great big flat wall along the sidewalk. And so it just there's that one, as well as the front setback from where they have an awning, a walkway going underneath. There's some big concerns that we have, and the reason is because this will be the first 3-story building, new build on Center Street, and this is absolutely 100% precedent setting, and we need to be very, very diligent on how the future of Center Street is designed and what it's going to look like. That's the main thoroughfare through High River and has to have a good look to it. So all of council agreed that planning staff send that design back to the developer to do better. There's reasons why the land use bylaw guidelines are in there, and we want to make sure that we're sticking on them. Lots of times we do small variances on residential stuff because it either fits in better or it fits in okay, that's fine. This is a big one. This is a massive development that's going to be on Center Street, so we got to be pretty focused on this one as to what this is going to look like. Few Q&A pieces that came up. There was some after the fiber project, Councillor Nychuk was timeline to fix some of the holes that they've dug in the roads and people's yards and everything else. So we're on top of that for the spring cleanup of that project. Councillor McGonigal asked about snow and slip hazards at the museum, so the crews have taken care of that. And Councillor Cooey asking about some of the plans with Emerson Lake residents, and what was that about? just what the plan is for the spring for Emerson Lake, and hasn't been communicated to the community. So that one was done. Regular council. First off, we had the High River Otters come forward, and Lauren and Kelsey came and presented. And what they're looking for is, because of the inconvenience that it's caused the Otter Swim Club, because of the pool closure, which I completely understand. Construction is a pain in the ass. It's hard on everybody. You don't have the immediate amenities there. It's construction, and it sucks. Trust me, since 2013, we've been through it enough, and every time we dig up a street, or we improve on the hockey rink, the curling rink, or any other amenity in this town, it creates a pain in the butt for those users, and we completely understand. It's not just the High River Otters, it's those of us that are trying to do swimming lessons, aquafit, just leisure swim. All these, we're all inconvenienced over this piece. So the Otters are requesting $10,000 to offset the travel costs and try to maintain their fees for their families and stuff. And with the $10,000, they would invest $5,000 of that going back into the community and buying $5,000 worth of gift cards for giveaways and stuff at their swim meets. So I've got my personal opinions on it. We have never done cash handouts to any user group because of the inconvenience that any of our construction, whether it be hockey, lacrosse, curling, or any of the businesses downtown, when we went through that massive rebuild, that's just never happened before. So I do have my thoughts on that. At this time, I can't support it, but council has asked some questions, and they've asked for, Councillor McGonigal asked that they submit their financial statements. So the swim club agreed to do that, and we've agreed to bring it back to council. So I'm only one person. I've got my thoughts on it, simply because of what I know we've done or haven't done in the last 13 years. And I get it. It's construction. It sucks. It's an inconvenience massively, and it's a pain in the butt. But we're going to grind through this, and this facility is going to be absolutely amazing when we crack the doors on it. Something that everybody, including the Otters, can be very proud of, to hold their swim meets and everything else there. It's going to be great. So we'll see more in the future on that one. The library, the Welcoming High River project, Susan came and she's the new lead on this through the library, and they've served 48 unique newcomers. So these are newcomers to High River that are trying to find their way around. Where are the amenities? What's available in High River for their family? So this group does a great job in kind of showing them around and pointing out what is available for them to support them the best we can in High River. So you can watch that whole presentation on the YouTube. Tax exemption. This is another interesting one for me, because what happened, I guess last year, was the province, the properties the province owns in High River for kind of under that affordable housing umbrella. So there's Cold Trail Apartments, that's the big one, and then there's a couple other small ones in High River. But the province said they are 100% tax exempt, so we cannot charge those properties taxes, which is a significant number to our tax revenue. And if those taxes are not paid, the rest of us have to make up for it. So that's part of the budget. But what the province did is they put a loophole in there and said, well, we're going to say they're tax exempt, but if the municipality wants to do a bylaw to say they do have to pay taxes, then we can do that. So because we don't want to put the province's burden on top of all the other taxpayers in High River, then yes, we did the bylaw that allows us to pay taxes on that. I don't know, this is optical sneakiness from the province in my mind to try to be a hero saying that they're supporting affordable housing when, not so much. They're just throwing it back on the backs of the municipalities. So again, I've got huge concerns about what the province is doing, downloading their responsibilities onto the municipalities. We're all dealing with it, so shouldn't be a shock to anybody watching this video on my thoughts on that. The pool expansion, of course, this is the big one that everybody's talking about because we have had to extend the timeline of construction, so we're now into opening in September. And there's a number of the things that come into play. Not only is the opening extended, but we did have to allocate some more money to the project, because at the end of the day, there's two things. We will not sacrifice time or finances to make this project and make this facility an exceptional quality of facility and an exceptionally safe facility, so that when we all go in that building, we know it's amazing, it's built properly, and it's safe for everybody. So through construction, we had a 10%, $2.4 million worth of contingency, $2.6 million worth of contingency at the start. There's always challenges with, you don't know what you don't know until you dig into the ground, and getting foundations poured and stuff a couple of years ago for the new portion of it had some challenges that ate up some contingency there. HVAC systems and tying into old ones and moving other ones out, there's always little glitches there, so that happened. Then when we moved into the renovation portion, we all knew that that's where, when you open any renovation, whether it's at home or on a build like this, you don't know what you don't know until the drywall comes off. So there's been a couple of pieces where the old drawings of the original building said there were support posts there were support beams there. When they tore it apart, they didn't exist. So, or didn't exist in the fashion that they should have, in the strength, engineered strength that they were supposed to be designed to. So we want to make sure all those things are taken care of when we're into this now. So that's caused some increases in the cost. Again, we want an exceptionally safe facility, and we will not sacrifice on the safety portion for sure. Another piece that came up once we were into construction is AHS. When they looked at the old pool, there's drains in the old deep end, we always called it, in the 12-foot end of the pool. There's drains in there that cycle the water around. Now, the old drains were only 10-inch drains. There was two 10-inch drains. And AHS said, today's standard, those are way too small. With the reno, we have to upgrade those. So now there is two 24-inch drains, which gives you way more circulation and keeps the water healthy and safe again for all of our users. So that was a significant cost to be able to get in there and dig those out and pour new ones in. It was challenging. Again, into that renovation portion, there's upgrades that we're doing to the old lane pool to bring it up to today's standards. So again, we're not sacrificing quality and we're not sacrificing safety. Those are two primary things. We're not putting any extra bells and whistles in. We're just making darn sure that this facility is awesome when we crack the doors. And I'm, going through this, it's not easy for us, it's not easy for the user groups or anything else, but I've been through this on projects before, that the end goal is that when you folks walk through that place, you're going to be blown away and you want it to be as amazing as we can possibly get it, and that's what our end goal is. So quality and safety, that is number one on that. So so the opening is now pushed into the first bit of September there. And that's not just on the construction end. Then once you have that, you've got to do leak tests on both pools. You got to do that. You got to fill the pool. You got to leak test it. You got to drain the pool. You got to do all these things, right? So, and then we have to have a 2-week window for AHS approvals. We have to have a 2-week window for training our lifeguards so that they know what's going on and they can operate the place safely and everything else for us. So that's on that end of things. The $2.6 million, there's money in there that is going to be directly allocated to what we know right now, but there's $500,000 in there that may or may not have to be used because it's allocated on the, those of you that know the pool well, the support rafters over the top, they're metal. They have the white paint on them. We want to wash those all up because they're dirty up there after 40 some years. They're dirty, so they're gonna go up and they're gonna clean them all off and repaint them. Now, when they clean them off, they know that if there's a concern that if the paint is fine, if it comes off, but there's lead-based red primer on those beams, and if that primer starts coming off in any way, then the lead has to be remediated. So if that happens, they've tested it, everything looks good, but it's still concerns. We're just getting ahead of it, finances, so that there's money allocated if they have to do it. But again, we will not open that pool if there's lead that needs to be dealt with. So you can trust us on the safety side of things, that it's going to be safe for yourself and for your children and grandchildren. So all things indicate that we're okay on that, but it's still an unknown until you start doing it. So we're just getting ahead of it. But things are construction. It's a grind. It's not fun, but it's going to be absolutely incredible when we crack the doors of that place. So be excited. Fleet replacement. This is for a new front plow truck for our operations team. So new snow plow truck. That'll be great. I know that'll get some people questioning snowplow again. It's always a thing every winter. But yeah, we're getting a new plow truck. FCM conference, Councillor Jones has asked to attend the conference. So Jenny is the town south lead for the Alberta Municipalities Association. We're proud to have her as a High River councillor that's in a role for the Alberta municipalities. So, but the AMA does not, has declined her on funding her to go to FCM because they've already got enough delegates to do and so, but Jenny would still like to attend. We think it's important. So it's $3,000 that would come out of that. The FCM conference is in Edmonton this year. Usually it's way out east somewhere, and it's extremely expensive to send counselors to, but this one's pretty easy in Edmonton, and I'm proud of Jenny for wanting to go there. And what she learns is a benefit to bring back to High River, and not only that, it's a benefit for her role representing Town South for AMA. So we're proud to have her in that role and proud to send her to this conference to learn more. So a couple of sponsorships we approved at the end of the meeting. High River Ag Society sponsorships. One is $1,500 for Town of High River to be a gold partner for the Little Britches Rodeo, the historical thing that we're proud to be supportive of. Also $2,500 as a shoot sponsor at the Guy Weedick Rodeo, another historical rodeo that's out there that we're proud to be a part of. So council approved both of those funds, and that was the gist of the meeting. Long one, but there you have it, folks. Have fun. You know how to get a hold of us if you got questions. Take care. Bye-bye.